O Great Spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, O ye pathmakers of old, ancestors of our bloodlines, ancestors of our spiritual lines, ancestors of our adopted lines, ancestors of our friendship lines, O ye powers that be, Om Shri Babaji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasaya Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Yukteswarji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yogananda Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Shali Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Swami Kriyananda Ji Ya Namaha. O ye powers that be, in all of thy names, in all of thy forms, the past, the present, the future, the ever-present now. Namaste. Sweep clear our path, that this time we have together be blessed. Sweep clear our path. Sitting with your spine erect, focus your attention at the point between your eyes. And just take a long, deep inhalation through the nostrils and exhalation through the nostrils. Inhaling to full chalice and exhaling. And do this 3 times. With each inhalation and exhalation, feel the body relax. There. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. May this time be blessed for each of us. May you be uplifted and be more joy-filled as we walk through this time together. Once upon a yogi time, not so very long ago, in the ever-present now, there was a young girl seeking to know the truth of life, seeking to understand the mysteries of life, seeking to understand the answers to the questions that she had about life. She searched, she read books, she went to churches, she went to mosques, she went to synagogues. Couldn't quite find what she was looking for. One day, her friend said, you should read this book here. There's this yogi You should read about this yogi. So she reads the book. She gets the book. She reads the book. Oh, this looks very interesting, this book. Maybe she could find what she was looking for in this yoga stuff, this Kriya Yoga stuff. She searches and searches again, and she comes to a big building. It's a temple. She goes into the temple. She sees this funny looking fella. Long beard, beautiful smile, just beautiful smile, welcoming. Hello, hello, come in, namaste, come in. She goes, first week, second week, something's keeping her there. She signs up for a class. This fella, sitting up in the front of this room on a dais, nice smile, always very warm and welcoming. He begins the class and he says, taking off his glasses, he did. Be happy. Just be happy. Just be happy. She was sitting back at the very far back of the room and she was shocked. Her mind started screaming, raging, just raging. That's a fine thing for you to say. What do you know about being happy? You don't have all the problems I have. And mentally, she listed everything. You don't have the homework. You don't have to make a living. You don't have to clean the house. You don't have to get to work. You don't have this person depending upon you. And all of a sudden, she hears, he says, again, just be happy. Just be happy. Be happy. And she's beginning to think that the fella, she thought a lot about this fella with the beautiful beard, and she really trusted, was beginning to really trust him, but nobody in all of her life, not one single person, had ever said to her, just be happy. Not one. Not one. In fact, when she smiled too much, Mama would say, this is not so good, honey. You're going to be very disappointed. You're too happy. But here this man was saying, just be happy. So all this internal dialogue is going on, and she thinks, am I in the right place? What's going on? What's happening with this guy? I better sit closer to the door so I can leave if I have to, she was thinking. Half an hour goes by, 40 minutes goes by, and he repeats it a third time. Be happy. Just choose to be happy. Be happy. And he's smiling, All right, she leaves. Okay. And here's this resonating in her head. Just be happy, just be happy, just be happy. She goes, comes back the next week, and doggone it, the next week, in the middle of his teaching, he says, be happy. Be happy. Just choose to be happy. Third week, be happy, be happy, be happy. 10 years later, be happy, be happy, be happy. 15 years later, be happy, be happy, be happy. And by then, she was moved a little bit further to the front of the room. She could be closer to him. So she could hear. 20 years and 30 years and 40 years. And he still said, just be happy. And sometime along the way, she woke up at one moment. I'll be darned. I'm happy. I'm happy. How did that happen? I'm happy. At this moment, I am happy. I am joy-filled. She went, aha, there's a magic here. And every time he said it over the years, she'd say, okay, I'm trying. And then learned at every minute to say, all right, am I happy now at this moment? And so I say to you, as he said to that young woman, just be happy. Be happy. Choose to be happy. Now, you can say, well, that's a fine thing for you to say. How do I go about doing that with all of the chakras and all of the chaos in the world around me? Chakras, chaos, same thing. And how do I do that? What do I do? And do I have the right to be happy? Do I deserve to be happy? And the answer is, my beloved, you do. You do. You do deserve to be happy. It begins with the smallest choice to try for just a moment to catch a glimmer of that which will bring you joy, which will bring you happiness. It begins by just at a moment, just for a moment, to try to turn inward, ascend upward, to be quiet. We're going to do that in a moment. So you will have a moment of ananda, of bliss, of happiness. We will have a moment of ananda, of bliss, of happiness today. Together we will enter that state of consciousness, of joy, of bliss, of happiness. But it is a choice. Now, the young girl sitting at the back of the room, she had her list of all the reasons that she couldn't be happy, and all of those reasons were probably pretty valid. But here's the key. That wise, beautiful soul who sat at the front of the room, that soul, she found out in time, my goodness, why, that soul had all of the same problems in life, challenges in life that she did. That person had to take care of. They had lots and lots and lots of responsibilities. But here's what he did for her. And I hope that today you get this gift through me, from him, from both of us. And that is that he said to her for the first time, be happy. You can choose to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Just be happy. At this moment, you're here. At this moment, we're here together. There is no reason to be anything but, at this very, very instant, joy-filled. And when somebody tells you that you have that right, that you can be happy, what a boon, what a blessing. Because we don't go around saying that to people. We don't say life is good, and life is good. You are a part of this. We are a part of this. We are good. You are good. Life is good. And yes, there are plenty of things in life that are out of balance, including this mind and that mind, the mind we all have. It's a little chaotic, and it is a little out of balance. But that's all right. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back to the point of balance. Now, in yoga, in Kriya Yoga, we call Kriya. Kriya is sacred action, and yoga is yoking the mind and the body together. And so what are the Kriyas that you can take? What are the actions that you can take to become happy? Now, you know, there are lots and lots of conditions that arise in the mind that create discontent, that allow emotions to arise in the mind. It might be anger, all kinds of things, all kinds of things. You know, I don't have to list them for you, those things that cause the mind to become angular. But the key begins by what you do, what you can do. And so the first thing is to recognize, first of all, that sometimes these emotions that arise in the mind, they are the result of a biological or an environmental condition. And so, let go of the blame. Let go of the blame. Say, all right, I am not feeling so good this morning. And the stomach is upset, the digestion is upset, the mind becomes upset. Gosh, did I eat too much pizza last night? Or did I eat too much fast food? Or did I eat too many hot peppers? Or did I have too much dairy? Whatever it is. Did I sit down and have a steak last night? If you're a person who imbibes in meat, did I do that? Is it causing my body to become agitated? If you eat food that has chemicals in it, if you eat food that has chemicals that are agitating, the body becomes agitated. Now, we like to say, oh, no, depression is a thing of the mind. Oh, anxiety is a thing of the mind. Well, yes, the chitta, the stuff of the mind, the thoughts of the mind, they arise because of what you are relative to. You are relative to your environment. Clean up your environment. I'm not saying, that you have to eat plant-based foods all the time or become a vegan or a vegetarian, or I'm not saying that. I'm saying, maybe I could drink a little bit cleaner water. Maybe I could breathe a little deeper. Maybe I could clean a little clutter out. Somebody came to me this week. Oh, you don't know how much stuff I'm cleaning out of my house. And I said, oh, I'm listening. And then the person proceeds to tell me that bless them. They found boxes of trash in their basement that the movers had put there and taped up in the box 23 years ago when they moved into their new house. They knew that the trash was there and they had not gotten around to getting rid of it. Fortunately, it wasn't anything that spoiled. But 23 years of keeping something that you've already decided you need to get rid of is a long time. And I said in my mind, thank you to the person who said that to me. Because what's the trash that I've been keeping, or you've been keeping? We've been keeping in our minds for all these years. What's the anger? What's the resentment? What's the jealousy? What's the dislike of this person, or the opposition with that person? Or we don't like this personality trait. The trash, the neti, the great yoga practice. Neti, I'm not this thought. Neti, I'm not the thought thinking this thought. Neti, I am not thought. Just like that person had in their basement, trash in a box that was taped up, nicely boxed up, nicely taped up. And you know what she told me? And bless her. I said, well, gosh, did you get it out to the recycle? She says, no, it's still in the basement. It's at the bottom of the stairs. I'm going to get it up there in time. I'll get it up there. You and me, she and I both. You may not have trash, papers and stuff that you've left in your house for 23 years that you boxed up, but you have the past experiences that you need to transform and let go of and dissolve away. And so the practice begins to say, what is my environment? What is my physical environment? How am I feeding myself? Not only physically, what am I breathing? What am I feeding with my eyes? What am I feeding with my ears? What am I feeding through my mouth? You watch violence, violence comes into the mind. You hear cruel thoughts come into the mind. You read the emotions that people spew. Don't join them. Don't join them. I know that social media is a big, 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 fun and exciting world. You don't have to always participate all the time. Be happy. Give yourself a break. Be happy. Don't listen to what Joe from Upper Lower Scavovia said. Turn it off. Read a poem. Read a book. Dance. Laugh. Sing. Make up corny jokes. Do something to bring yourself contentment and joy and happiness. And this wise soul that always said, just be happy. If you'd ask him what happiness was, it's really a state of consciousness in which there is no desiring. You're content. At this moment, be content. At this moment, be happy. So I said, first you have to look at your environment and make the changes that you need to make. Petite change, one little change at a time, at a time, at a time. Now I know, my beloved, I know that we all walk through life and hold out hope that, the next day is going to be better. When I get through this, it's going to be better. And then life happens. And the experiences pile up. The karma unfolds. And difficulty arises. So what do? You need to turn inward. You need to be able to have some method that allows you to turn inward. Now, I started out saying you have to look at your life, what you're doing, how you're living, what your environment is, what you're feeding yourself. The next thing you need to do that will be very, very helpful is to cultivate this practice of awareness. It's quite simple, and yet in terms of life and what it can bring to you, it is probably one of the most profound, life-changing practices that one could do. It's quite simple, as I said. You take a part of your consciousness, just a petite part. You know how to do this. You know how to chew gum and walk at the same time. And you elevate it above the head, about 18 inches. Above the head. You're above the chakric system. The chakric system is where all the karma flows down. The karma is flowing down from the causal plane to the astral plane to the physical plane. But here you're taking a part of your awareness and you're lifting it above that. That can do only one thing, and that is it can observe. Observe, that's it. That's all it can do is observe. No judgment. No preferences. Just observe. It might have a phrase You know, as my guru always said, the Eskimos have over 50 words in their language for the condition of snow. And most of us would have no idea what that meant. It's not necessary in our language. This phrase, isn't it interesting? Or sometimes, oh wow, isn't that interesting? Is your way to observe what happens in your life. So do it for 49 days. And by the time you do it for 49 days, you will have it. It will belong to you. It will become part of your everyday awareness, your everyday consciousness. What does that mean? I lift it up here and all I do is observe. So you could do the practice first by saying, well, I'm going to observe what's happening in my physical body. You just lift your attention up there. You become aware of your breath. Try it with me for just a moment. Close your eyes. Beginning practice, close your eyes. And take a part of that consciousness and lift it above your head. 18 inches, just straight above the head. And just become aware of your physical body. Now let it go. Now you should have seen, maybe seen, that thoughts start to rise in the mind. Maybe there was a thought of judgment that rose in the mind. Maybe there was a thought of curiosity that rose in the mind. But just allow the thoughts to arise and allow them to fall. Be aware of them. It begins with observing the body, but the most vital step is to observe the thoughts that rise in the mind and the thoughts that fall in the mind, and to observe your behavior. To just observe it. Isn't that interesting? I wonder, that person walked in the room and my spirits just sank. Netty, netty, netty. And then, isn't that interesting? I walked by and I smelled that smell, and my mind became agitated. Isn't that interesting? What does it mean when this happens? What it allows you to do, beginning with the very, very simple things, the more you allow your mind to see, your conscious mind to see, and accept it. This is the key. See and accept it. I didn't want to get that news. Okay. I see and I accept it. Then what happens? The subconscious mind says, wow, well, gosh, he is seeing and he's accepting. She's seeing and she's accepting. Maybe I'll reveal a little bit more. Maybe I'll reveal more. The more that you use the practice of observing, the observer technique, the more you use the practice, the more the subconscious mind says, I can show them more, because she's accepting it. And the more that you can see the thoughts that arise in the mind, moving from the actions of the body to the thoughts that arise in the mind, the more you see, and the more you accept, and the more you treat those thoughts with humor. My goodness, here we are again. Here we are. There you are. There you are again. Okay. Neti, 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 neti. Or here you are again. I wonder where that thought came from. Go from whence thou hast come. Now, in all of this observing and all of the using of the observer practice, the mind, the observer practice, it is key to know this one thing, and that is that thoughts are things. Thoughts are eternal, thoughts are immortal, thoughts are things. This is a thing, right? Just like you see that as a thing, a thought is a thing. You haven't thought a new thought. You have drawn yourself to a state of consciousness. You have become relative to something that you were not relative to before. You started eating more vegetables. You started eating almonds and cherries, and your dream state's vivified. You start drinking good water. You start breathing. All of a sudden, the thoughts that you're drawing to the shore of your consciousness, or the shores that you are drawing your consciousness to, are changing. Only that which you are relative to will come into your life. Very, very, very important. So if a thought arises in the mind that you don't care for, that you don't like, that you feel is ugly, don't judge it. Just use that powerful neti, neti, neti. Dissolve it away. Demagnetize it. Now, I would say to you that it's very clear that there are some conditions of the body that cause anxiety, that cause depression, that cause stress in the mind. And those conditions need to be addressed. They need to be addressed with medicines, whatever medicine is right for you. But the Kriyas are medicines also. They are medicines that will help you to heal, that will help you to vivify, that will help you to find happiness and joy in your life. And so, happiness is a condition that arises in a moment. You don't have to worry about being happy for 5 hours or a whole day. Sometimes on a very rare, good day, yes, it's like that. But it's more like, oh yes, oh this moment. Oh yes, this moment. Yes, this moment. Little stops, little starts, little stops, little starts will be of help to you. Now, meditation is essential. Meditation is an essential part, an essential step of finding this joy and bringing it to your life and sustaining it. Sustaining it. You can bring happiness to your life. You can bring anything you want to your life. It's the sustaining it that is really, really, really the key. Meditation is simply letting go of the angular energy and coming to a point of one-pointedness. One point here at the sun center, one point. That's all. Coming to that point in time, for just a nanosecond. You don't have to make it for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 5 days. In time, the bliss will come for longer and longer periods of time. But happiness is just like that drop of water that falls from the bamboo. In Japanese gardens, we have the bamboo tube, the long bamboo tube, and water runs through it, and here's the bamboo, and it comes down upon the rock. The water drips, the water drips, the water drips, the water drips, the water drips. And in time, this rock becomes a cup. And when the water drips, it's going into a bowl. It is being held there. And happiness is the same way. A little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And then your entire being will be filled. There will be a cup within your consciousness that you can attune to, that you can find, that you can go to, that you can sip upon when there is need. And so let us turn inward. I'm going to turn to the altar, the camera, and you can either close your eyes or, if you prefer, simply tune to the altar, whichever you prefer. And we will meditate together. Place your hands on your thighs, if you will, in the Om Mudra, bringing the index finger and the thumb together, and the fingers pointed towards the center of the body. Turn your head to the left with the resurrection breath, exhaling twice, and bringing it back to the center. Beginning to watch the breath. With the next inhalation of the breath, use the sipping breath, sipping as if through a straw, and pull the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. Again, using the sipping breath, pull the energy from the trunk of the body to the spinal column. And now, with the sipping breath, pull the energy from the base of the spine to the sun center. Take that energy as a golden ball of light and move it out in front of you. Expand it. Sweep around to the left, behind you, and bringing the light again to the front. Encase your entire body in the light. Do this 2 more times. Expand that golden ball of light. And now moving your awareness up at a 45-degree angle. Ascend above the room that you are in, above the house that you are in. Above the city, above the continent, Ascend above the earth plane. Ascending as high as you are able. Until you attain the high place. Entering the high place, you see in front of you a path. Ascending up this mountain, you easily ascend halfway up the mountain. No stress, no strain. Come to a grove. Within this grove is a shrine. It is shining brilliantly white light. Enter into the shrine and see the light filling all the walls. In front of you is a pool of water, of light, and you see a waterfall. And you hear these words, enter here, dissolve away the seeds of thy discontent. Dissolve away difficult karmas. Stepping into the pool of light, feel thy shoes dissolve away. Thy old clothing, walking towards the waterfall. As you approach the waterfall, stop for a moment. In your own words, give yourself permission. Permission to let go, to be joy-filled for just this moment. Choose to be happy. Step under the waterfall of light. Feel it pouring down upon your crown center. Ananda. Ananda. Pranananda. Feel all of the difficult karmas dissolving away. Feel the seeds of discontent dissolving away. Feel you're being filled with the golden light. As your body lightens, it may ascend of its own accord. Allow it to do so. When you are ready, walk forth from the waterfall of light. See yourself walking slightly above the water, slightly above the pool of crystalline clear light. See that new clothing is on your body, new shoes upon your feet, new skin holding thy being together, refreshed and vivified. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. Walk out the door of the shrine, bowing to all the powers that be that have created this shrine, that have brought it together, that have held the energy, that have made it possible for healing to occur, that have made it possible for thy being to be vivified. Knowing that at any time you may return here again and again. As you leave the grove, beware that you are in the high place. Each day return to the high place. Bring your mind to a point of quietness, letting go for just a moment of everything except the quiet, the bliss. O He, powers that be, pour forth thy blessings upon us. Fill us with the happiness, the joy, the bliss of life. Fill us with health and vitality, with wisdom, with equanimity. Fill us with the strength that we need to walk through the karma of life as it unfolds. Fill us with dewdrops of Ananda. Fill us with the knowing, with hope, with the knowing that life itself is good. The forest can only become so dark, and it will become bright again. The light is always here. Fill us with that knowing. May we become one with thee. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And as you are ready, return your attention. Bring your awareness back to the place that you are. I thank you for the blessings of your presence, for the blessings of your meditative energy, for all that you have brought today, that you bring every week as we come together. May you be blessed this week. May you be joy-filled this week. And may your heart be lifted. Namaste. Namaskar.